Boris throws a Hail Mary at Macron over fishing row despite many threats from French on the matter. Boris Johnson has been accused of caving in on French fishing demands as Paris continues to threaten the UK. Boris Johnson handed France an extra 23 fishing licenses over the weekend, 18 for UK waters and 5 for Jersey waters. But despite these concessions, French officials have made it clear that the dispute is far from over. Former Brexit Party MEP June Mummery blasted the Prime Minister on Twitter for selling out the fishing industry to France. She added that, despite Brexit promises, we haven't taken control of our waters. French European Affairs Minister Clement Beaune confirmed on Monday that his country has been handed 93% of the fishing licenses it requested from the UK. But he said France will not stop until every request has been granted. Mr. Beaune told CNews, "We still need a few dozen licenses. No fisherman will be left behind. By Wednesday we will have a meeting with the fishermen to see how to secure remaining licenses." Ms. Mummery accused Mr. Johnson for being too soft on the French. She wrote, "The Prime Minister has just capitulated to the French and handed over more licenses as a goodwill gesture." She added that this was much to be expected, given that the post-Brexit Free Trade Agreement, TCA, does not allow Britain to take back control of its waters. Ms. Mummery also quoted a report published by Gary Taylor, a former DEFRA official and fisheries negotiator, earlier this year that estimated the UK fishing industry will make a loss of £300 million by 2026, rather than a gain of £146 million forecasted by the government. After this year, the UK will be able to cut EU catches further, but Brussels will be able to impose its own tariffs on fishing products. Even after Mr. Johnson caved to the French, or perhaps because he did so, Ms. Mummery argued that the French are still threatening us. Today, on Monday, reports have suggested that French fishermen will attempt to disrupt the UK's festive period by blockading major ports in protest at the number of licenses that have been issued to date. Retired civil servant Bob Byrne, quoted in express.co.uk, urged Mr. Johnson to get his togs on and get in the ring with French President Emmanuel Macron. In other news, Inishowen TD Padraig MacLachlan has described the British blockade of the Rockall fishing grounds as absolutely outrageous, as estimates suggest €7.7 million in landings of squid and other species have been lost to the Irish fleet. Deputy MacLachlan asked the Minister for Agriculture, Food and the Marine, Charlie McConalogue, about the full financial loss to the fleet in 2021 arising from the blocking of access to its traditional fishing grounds around Rockall. He also asked for an update on the status of the negotiations with the British government to resolve the dispute. It is now almost a year since the British authorities blocked fishermen from Ireland from accessing their traditional fishing grounds around Rockall. It is absolutely outrageous that, after almost a year, this has not been resolved. Will the Minister clarify the financial loss to our fleets, including in Greencastle, Killybegs, and Castletownbere, from the outrageous ongoing action taken by the British government? He asked. The Minister, in reply, said the issue is very important to him and one on which I have worked very hard, with the Minister for Foreign Affairs, to make progress. I know it is an issue for Donegal fishers, particularly those in Greencastle and Killybegs. It has been an important and strategic fishery for many years and one which we value very much and seek to protect. I received the report of the Seafood Task Force, Navigating Change, in October. The task force estimated that the total squid fishery around Rockall is valued at about €6.6 million based on 2019 landings, and the total impact of the loss of that squid and other fisheries at €7.7 million. I launched a Brexit temporary fleet tie-up scheme in September this year on foot of the task force recommendation. The scheme was established as a targeted measure for certain segments of the fishing fleet to mitigate the loss of income in 2021 arising from the significant quota reductions under the EU-UK Trade and Cooperation Agreement, or Brexit Agreement. In line with the task force recommendations, I extended this scheme for an additional month to cover vessels that could not participate in the Rockall squid fishery.